If your first thoughts after looking at Holdfast are, wow, this game looks a lot like Mount & Blade Napoleon Wars, you're not wrong. That's because Holdfast was created by the developers of Mount & Warband, which is why they look so alike. From game mechanics to key bindings, these two games are very similar. However, if you already own Napoleon Wars, is it worth buying? I'll come to that later on in the video, but first let's just learn more about Holdfast Nations at War. Holdfast Nations at War is a first-person / third-person historical multiplayer action role-playing game, which includes land, siege, and naval combat. It also includes 2 playable nations as of right now, but more are to be added for sure in the future. Viewing the server allows you to choose the numerous game types including siege, battlefield, and naval battles. There are also custom servers, but during my personal experience, these were mostly empty, so you'll want to stay with the EU and USA official servers that Holdfast provide. Each nation offers a diverse selection of troop style, and each style plays a specific role on the battlefield. Most are simple infantry units with different uniforms, but there are also specialty positions. These are the drummer, fifer, and flag bearers, which when playing their instruments can give boosts to nearby soldiers, a surgeon who can heal soldiers if they've been wounded, carpenters can repair certain objects, and infantry officers are designated as the ones that should be leading troops, but really anyone can do it. Each troop type does feel natural, and even though you might not be directly killing soldiers yourself, you're helping the regular soldiers do that, so it feels like you're all working towards the same goal. Being a drummer and boosting aim for the hopelessly inaccurate muskets feels just as useful as being a rifleman sniping enemy soldiers from a distance. It's a team effort, and every member of that team matters. These troop types are also present in naval battles, but with the addition of the sailor, which has a different loadout including a giant hook spear. The game types work off of a ticket system, in which killing enemy soldiers will deplete their tickets and reinforcements. Once a team's reinforcements are depleted, the other team has to just kill all the last remaining enemies, and they win the game. There is also a decent number of maps, and games can take up to 30 minutes depending on how equal the two forces are, so you can easily be playing for hours and not play on the same map twice. I also have to say that the maps are generally varied and usually offer a strategic point in the middle of the map that both teams generally fight over. Whether it be a central building or a bridge, these points offer a real tangible objective instead of just simply trying to kill the enemy team wherever they may be until their reinforcements are depleted. Now, there are generally 3 types of people you will encounter while playing this game, Holdfast or Napoleon Wars. You have your hardcore role-playing guy who speaks with the accent of whatever country you're playing as, and it's generally hilarious.
Hello everybody, jump now if you love Emperor Napoleon.
You have your troll who blasts Metallica through his microphone and charges the enemy line with a flag. And you have your average player who can, if he wants to, engage at least a little in the role-playing aspect of the game. Oh. The great thing about Holdfast and Napoleon at the same time is that both games allow you to do any of these 3 types of playstyles, and you can do them all at the same time.
Alright, man.
We should
Our searchers stay with us.
We're going to flank to the
Yes,
east
indeed.
and fire and flank upon them.
Where the pussy is.
You heard the captain? Fucking do this.
Ready? And hold on.
That troll can go ahead and keep blasting his music, while the hardcore players go and set up an 18th century battle line. This created this strange atmosphere of where at any moment you can be ushered into a line battle, being very serious, but also start laughing at how random and funny other players can be. Laughing one minute and watching your friends dying another. It's something that very few games offer, but this one definitely does. It's this combination of both that makes Holdfast such a unique experience, as most games can't offer both at the same time like this game does. Only in this game could you be giggling out of control while stabbing some poor drummer in the back. It's something, if you really want to experience, you must go out and buy this game. The music is also superb and even epic at times, and only helps to enhance the playing experience. Historically, this game is so interesting to play because this is how wars were fought hundreds of years ago. Not the running and jumping stuff that you might see in an online game, but the lining up in formation and essentially walking straight, marching straight into bullets. It's such a different style of combat compared to most run and gun games that we see today. But it's these little moments that you will remember far more than any battle or specific kill. Just these strange things that can happen by all these factors that I've talked about, creating such an atmosphere that strange things can happen. It can be tragic, it can be heroic, it can be funny, but it can be serious all at the same time. You know, you might remember a specific charge, or maybe when you held the bridge against, you know, waves of enemies and everyone was dead and the drummers had to come up, and the drummers and the fifers had to save everybody. You know, random things like this that are generated by the factors that I've talked about, creating such an atmosphere. I really can't explain in depth. It's something you just have to experience for yourself. Now, as I said before, is Holdfast worth buying if you already own Napoleon Wars? Although these games are very similar and mechanically almost identical, there are stark improvements. Graphics, for one, is leagues better than Napoleon ever was, with its very muddy textures at times. UI is also slightly better and more responsive, especially to new players. There are also many more customization options as far as your character, your graphics, your UI, more than Napoleon ever had at any point. So for the current price of $16, I would say yes, it is worth it. And if you don't think so, you can always just wait for the game to go on sale. Now, Holdfast is an early access game. I think early access games on Steam get a really bad stigma for being cash grabs. I really don't think this game is like that. It has promise, it has a future ahead of it. Hopefully they add more nations and maps to the game soon so they keep it refreshing and new for people to keep going back and playing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope to see you guys on the battlefield, shoulder to shoulder with me, killing those English dogs, and I'll see you guys on the next one.